What's up fam, we are back with the 8th patch of the year, which will be applied to the upcoming MSI. Let's get right into it. As always, we're gonna kick this off with champions of minor changes. Jarvan gets a passive buff and Akali gets a base HP buff. Sylas and Olaf get buffed on their damage on monsters. Draven gets a Q damage buff while Zeri and Zac get nerfed on their HP stats. Graves gets a buff on crit damage ratio per bullet and a reduced reload time for additional attack speed. Hui will get AP ratio buffs to his passive and QQ combo. Jhin will move faster for every critical strike and will get a buff on his Q's AD ratio. Kai'Sa gets a base armor buff and an AD ratio buff on her Q skill. LeBlanc's Q base damage and W's cooldown will be buffed. Given that her ult replicates her base skills, this is essentially a buff on her ults as well. Galio gets buffed 3 times in a row, increased movement speed and reduced cooldown for his Q. And here's a big one coming up for Ryze, his W gets a noticeable slow rate and cooldown buff. Thresh gets buffed on his base armor and growth MR. Azir's base HP regen and his W's base damage will be nerfed. Briar's growth HP and her W's attack speed get nerfed but will be compensated with a range buff to her Q. Next up are champion adjustments. Mordekaiser's Q cooldown will be buffed, but his E skills base damage will be nerfed. Most importantly, you can no longer exit his ult from QSS. Wish you AD carries all the best. Skarner gets a huge adjustment to his Q skill. Its cast time and mana cost will be reduced. Its duration, base damage, bonus AD ratio, and damage cap to monsters will increase, but his growth mana stats will be nerfed, as will his W and E skill mana cost. I guess Riot wants to see more of Skarner in the jungle lane than top. Finally, we got some significant changes in the Voidgrubs and Baron. Voidgrubs will be spawned 1 minute later than it used to. True damage on towers per stack will increase, and ally Voidgrubs will spawn beginning with 4 stacks instead of 5. 2 spawns at 6 stacks will remain intact. Baron is going to be doing more damage, but the exact stats are not yet confirmed. There's no item changes on this patch, which concludes today's patch note. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.